All right. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? It's Thursday, April, what is it, 24th? We're taking a look at NASDAQ this morning. Yesterday, we had the gap higher. That gap never filled, ended up just largely being a range day. One of the things that we talked about, which is going to be important for today as well, is how price was trading up into this key area of resistance right through here, about really about 19K up into 19,350. Anytime price is in a near term range, just want to treat that upper portion and that lower portion more like a zone, an area of resistance, an area of support. That's exactly what we saw yesterday. That was the concern with that large gap yesterday. Coming into that area, where are buyers going to be showing up again? Or excuse me, where are sellers going to be showing up again as price comes into that area of resistance? We end up seeing that price trades lower into the afternoon. Take a look at your 5 minute regular trading hours chart here. Price marks a high right around 150.19, 150, rolls over. But sellers really failed to show any sort of continuation down through the 18,800 level of interest, which is noteworthy. For this morning, we got the open here in less than 1 minute. For this morning, I'm looking at 18,800 and the prior day low as the primary focus. We want to see, are buyers going to step in and support this thing again, or are sellers going to be able to show some follow through from the sell that started yesterday? If sellers are unable to do that, it'll definitely be more likely that buyers will be able to eventually, probably in the next few days, trigger a breakout of that 350. So that's kind of the thought process here. So here comes the open. NQ pushing that overnight high right now, coming into the prior day volume point of control right there. 882 is the level. There's your open. Overnight high 877. Just shy of that prior day volume point of control. Let's see if we have a gap. Very small gap. Very, very small gap there. Let's see. Do we have, let me see. Let me see. Do we have economic data this morning? Yeah, it looks like we do have a 10 a.m. data print for this morning. There's NASDAQ, kind of a little bit of a blip there up and through that overnight high. You got a big sell in YM and Russell as well. Looks like ES is bumping up against that prior day volume point of control. Staying patient off the open per usual. Let that structure build out. Patience pays, as we like to say. What's our session low here? 848. Everything is into the lows except for NASDAQ. So NASDAQ just on its own here. ES coming into that 5,400 level of interest. Russell into the prior day low. You got VWAP right through there as well. NQ session high right now, 894. A lot of early churn here. Check out the volume is already below average for the open. That is definitely not a great sign. Almost into the lows. Or is that a new low? Yeah, that's a true new low right there for NASDAQ. So I like to see some action above that overnight high, prior day volume point of control, or down into the 800 level of interest. Or NQ retesting your session high. New high of day for NASDAQ. Russell, nice hold there on Russell at VWAP. For the VWAP enjoyers, Yeah, the prior day low right through there as well. Choppy, 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 choppy. Choppy, choppy. Actually tried a little ES right there, a little long in ES, only for a couple points. Wanted the session high on that one for the target. That was the 5,400 level of interest. A little bounce, no follow through. Just cut that one. A little scalp, a little warm up round, if you will. Yeah, that was a nice idea there. Looking at ES, we had the 5,400. I love a good level of interest, but this is just choppy so far. Look at the volume. So this is the Opinicus relative volume indicator. If these bars are black, volume is below average. Red is low, orange is normal. Got that scalp as well, Nicole. Nice. Dom, slow morning. Yeah. There's ES into the highs. Gets shaken out. It is what it is. It is what it is. NQ into the highs as well. It's looking better. It's waking up. It's waking up a little. Yeah, that looked all right. You need a super tight entry in there. Probably 15-second, 30-second chart. Russell coming into target here. If you happen to grab that long versus VWAP, this is your target. ES coming into the overnight high. That 5,400 long ended up working beautifully. So NASDAQ, we got a nice push here. Upside level of interest, 19K. We do, so this area with the prior day, let's see. Little prior day structure right through there. Let's see how that area is going to be treated. And Q coming into that prior day structure point. See if volume improved. Oh yeah. Volume definitely improving there. All right, we start to probably bring those intraday fibs out. "15 minutes into the sesh, we have a nice push here from buyers. Again, I want to see how this area is going to be treated from the prior day structure with the 19K level of interest overhead. So far, sellers have been a no-show today, this morning. No call, no show. And Q, here's 19K level of interest. No entry on NQ for me personally. Sorry, Ray. The day is young. Day is young. NASDAQ, some sellers there versus 19K. Unsurprising. Levels of interest getting respected. Gotta love it. We've got 10 minutes till 10 a.m. There's a data print at 10. Let's bring those fibs back, see where we're at. Right into the shallow fib there. Well, Irvin, the backdrop's neutral, but for pre 10 a.m., yeah, definitely. Wait another 10 minutes on that one. So NQ end up seeing that little consolidation there near overnight high, prior day volume point of control. Resolves higher now into the 19K. S&P a little decent retest of the overnight high right there. S&P's not bad. Not bad, not bad. Good old ES. Couple of scalps, nothing crazy. Keeps the lights on, you know? Keeps the bills paid. Missed the main move there on ES, but that's part of the game. That is part of the game. Once that stops bothering you, you're in a very good spot psychologically as a trader. Some traders see that and it boils up inside them and they gotta do a little destruction to their account. Been there before. A little revenge. As if the market even cares. A little full port revenge. Been there before. I know that one quite well. Full port Friday, Ray. A little full port Friday. Look at this volume. Not a lot of market participation so far this morning. Relatively speaking, anyway. Yeah, that's a good call. If you're feeling hot from some emotions, you can just hit the lockout button or just close the broker. All right, data in 4 minutes. Got the data print in 4 minutes, 10 a.m. It was a decent open. I like the action in ES better this morning so far, personally. Proximity to level of interest off the open, definitely superior. Now we wait for data. NQ pretty steady. Pretty steady. Next target, prior day high, 19,150 level of interest. Absolute no show from the sellers today. Look at this, all green bars on the 5 minute. So that bull scenario outlined in this morning's pre-market prep notes panning out pretty nicely. Nice hold of the 18,600 level of interest and now showing that continuation. Micro retest at 19K. Yeah, that's an easy one to pass on. Very easy to pass on that one. We have data here in 90 seconds. Kind of in no man's land here as well. All right, 30 seconds till 10. Let's see what we're going to be working with here. If you're talking about playbook and Dom, I would look at that ES setup, 5400. There's 10 a.m., pretty much nothing burger as far as data is concerned. And Q is pressing the highs steady into no man's land. Upside level is prior day high and the 150 level of interest. Yeah, ES has been solid. Past few weeks been really nice. It's a good backup in scenarios like this morning where NQ doesn't have great proximity to a level of interest, or the setup is just not that good. Benny still long from 890. My goodness, man. Well done. Well done. Chrissy with the trailed. Wow. Let's go, man. You guys are crushing it. Nicely done. NASDAQ new high of day. Another new high of day. Look at this 5 minute. Just silly. New highs, new highs, new highs. Friday high. Yeah, that's that next upside reference point. Staying patient here. Not chasing, that's for sure. No setup, no trade. Very simple. This is real life trading right here. It can be a little bit boring. NQ. Now look at volumes really tapering down now. Best trade so far this morning is definitely got to be ES 5400 long. Russell, honorable mention to Russell for the RTY enjoyers there. VWAP in the prior day low. Solid. NQ. Personally, I don't see anything there. I don't see anything. Otherwise, I probably would have been in it, but that's just me. We may never see a red 5 minute bar again in this lifetime. 19100 seller sitting right there. That was the that intraday resistance level from yesterday. All right, let's see if we finally can use the fib retracement. 1st shallow fib right through there, 45. 45 minutes into the sesh. How's everyone's morning so far? Pretty slow on my end. Pretty slow. Dom right into 100 a reversal. Cash, 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 cash. All right, all right. Chrissy 2 for 2. Dom trailed. Yeah, that shallow fib's not going to be enough for me. No way, not setting risk there. I got ES into 5450 level of interest. Level to level move. Potential lower high in the making right there. Check out the high volume node that's been built up here. Regular trading hours volume point of control up in that area. Today is a real test of patience. Good day to flex that patience muscle. NASDAQ back into session highs, 19,100, 19,106 area. Pretty much got fresh highs across the board. NQ new high of day right there. Like to see that reaction of prior day high, like I mentioned. Prior day high, 19,150 area. First real pullback just comes into the shallow fib. And again, new high of day. NQ, pretty much as far as like A plus entries for the system that I follow, there is nothing here. ES, you had the 5400 and then a micro pullback into the overnight high. Those were the two ideas I went for. It's been a very slow morning so far, even with the trend move. ES pressing the highs. NASDAQ pressing the highs coming into 150. But so far, that bullish scenario discussed, or rather written up in the notes, is panning out quite nicely. Sellers really needed to see a continuation down through prior day low. The fact that they failed after price kind of tested the near term range high. Not the best sign there for sellers. Yes, sir. Got to trade the system. Got to stick to the edge. Oh, you may get that second red 5-minute bar the entire session. New high of day, NASDAQ. Yeah, no chance. Like to see if sellers materialize here near 150 in the prior day high. If not, we can watch for the 350. All right, here we go. 150 prior day high right there at 165 is where it gets more interesting. All right, just about a true test of the 150 level of interest there. One of the things we talked about on Tuesday in Tuesday's stream was buyers would want to see this develop into a higher low, and the target for that would be 350. So basically, get pretty close to the target. Yesterday with the gap, you can see the wick there on that candle, and so sellers have a good opportunity to force price lower right there. That's what I mentioned in the notes this morning. If they fail, it would really speak to the strength of buyers in this tape. Anytime you see a pretty obvious setup fail, tells you something about the other side. Take a look at ES, even more apparent with that shooting star right there, right into resistance. Now, this daily bar is still pretty young, right? Still have 6.5 hours, but so far anyway. All right, there's your 150. Let's see prior day high. And Q just bumping into 150 here. Sellers not showing up whatsoever here. ES fresh highs. And Q fresh high there. Prior day high just overhead 165. There's your little blip above prior day high. Fresh highs, fresh highs, fresh highs. A little more than an hour into the sesh. So of course this area stays on watch 150 prior day high. Let's see where ES is at. ES, no man's land. Oh, you may finally get your second red 5 minute bar of the session right here. Is that red? Ooh, it's flat. Doji. Big doji at the highs. D-Wall, there's D-Wall in the chat. He's looking for that entry. Ray called it. Ray summoned him right at the prior day high. $15 should give some good clues here. About 3.5 more minutes. This next 5 minute closure of sellers can show follow through. Show a rejection here. Let's see. NQ up almost 2%. You have the fib buy zone sitting right there with 19K. Man, that would be nice. That would be nice. There's your 5 minute. There it is. Right where you'd expect it. Right where you would expect it. Who went for the intraday reversal there? Noah Ray, nice. D Wall, of course. Nicely done. Good volume on that move too. Very good. Very good. So I'll be looking at 19K. See if price gets back down in there. I think for now, I'm gonna call it a morning. No trades on NQ for me this morning. NQ, we got nothing. Nothing there. This morning opted for the ES setups and really did not maximize those whatsoever, but that's part of the game. There's the ES trades 2 for 2 on the old S&P. So pretty light morning on my end, but that is how it goes sometimes. That is how it goes. So thank you for your time, everyone. Hope you had a good morning. We'll keep it going in the Traders Think Tank here. If you are in the room, I'll see you there. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow morning for Friday for tomorrow's stream. All right, take care.